All right, in this issue we're turning to questions of ethics, another complicated and fascinating set of issues. So I want to start with a straightforward question of ethics, which is this: what is the meaning of life? All right, maybe not so straightforward, but nonetheless, that's the question where the rubber meets the road for philosophy. Ultimately, we want our philosophical answers to have some sort of impact, be relevant to our lives. And when we think about questions of the meaning of our lives, we're asking ethics questions in a highly applied philosophical way. Now, questions of the meaning of the life have kind of a reputation for being abstract and unanswerable, and I don't think that is true. I think we all think about these issues and we all have an answer to the questions of the meaning of life. If you think, for example, of momentous occasions in our lives or the lives of those we care about, say the birth of a child. And as we gaze upon the child or hold the child and see the child doing its initial things with its life, we know it has a whole life ahead of us, and usually we have philosophical moments built into that kind of an experience. What will this child's life be like? What is possible to this child? What are our hopes and aspirations for the child? Or if we go to the other end of the life cycle, a death, and we attend a funeral and there are eulogies and we are reflecting on the person's life. What kind of a life he or she led? Was it a good one? Was it a meaningful one? Was it a significant life? And ordinarily we are led to think of our own lives in relationship. What can we learn positively or negatively from the example of the person who has now died, realizing that at some point we will be in that situation having died. By the time we reach that point, what will we want to have accomplished in our life? Now, so I think we all have an answer to the question of meaning of life, whether we have worked it out explicitly, consistently, abstractly, right, or not. Think of the standard phenomenon: we wake up in the morning and we get out of bed and we proceed about our daily business. Well, that's a philosophical set of activities already. Just getting out of bed in the morning presupposes that it's worth getting out of bed in the morning. If you don't think it's worth getting out of bed in the morning, perhaps you're severely depressed, then you've reached a conclusion, a felt conclusion that life is meaningless. But if, by contrast, that's not you, you do have goals that you want to achieve during the course of that day, you do have at least an implicit answer to the question of what the meaning of your life is and what you plan to accomplish that day as a step toward it. Now, where ethics questions come in more directly is if we think about, say, that moment of getting out of bed in the morning. At that point, your day is a blank slate. There are an indefinite number of things potentially one could do, millions and billions of possibilities. Out of all of those possibilities, we've selected or pre-selected a certain number of them. There are things I am going to do today, things I'm not going to do today, things that I hope to get done today, and we'll have a list, maybe a prioritized list, but even built into that then is a set of value standards, assumptions about ethics, and so forth. What gets onto your list are going to be things that are judged by you to be valuable. Things that don't get onto your list or never get onto your list, you never are going to put onto your list. Those are going to be things that you judge not to be valuable. And even among the things that do get onto your list, if you have a prioritized list, then you are making judgments about better or worse, more important or less important. And that presupposes some sort of standard for sorting between the good and the bad, the right and the wrong, the worthwhile, the not worthwhile, the important, the less important, and the trivial or not important at all. And all of those questions, or standards rather, raise questions of ethics. What kind of a standard are we using when we're sorting things in the world, in our lives, into the good and the bad? And how do we go about doing this process better, in a more informed way, so that we can have an answer to the meaning of life and put it into practice strategically and tactically to achieve the best kind of life that is possible to us.